Not we're back. Welcome to Angry Dad Sports. Welcome to Angry Dad Sports.
We're back. We've been gone for a couple weeks. We're back. Angry Dad Sports, episode 2. I'm sure everyone listened to episode 1, so we're really cruising.
God.
We're really cruising. I feel good about what we're doing.
I'm Freeman.
I'm High Tops. You can follow me on Twitter at HighTops69. We're going to do a segment tonight called Throw Down 3, my 3 best bets on any sports across any sports of the week. I think you'll enjoy that, a little Valentine's Day special. HighTop69, at HighTop69. Follow me, please.
This is long.
I've got like 16 followers. I'm trying to build up.
Now you have 14 followers.
Build up my tweeters.
You just lost it.
All my tweeters. All right, so
Jason,
I started angry. You start angry this week. Let's get angry. Let's get.
You said you're gonna start.
No, I said no. I said I was gonna start like the intro, but not the angry part. So let's get angry. Go.
I'm angry that I'm actually doing this show with this guy. That's the first thing. That's the first thing that I'm angry about. And let's see.
Soundboard. First time using the soundboard. This is amazing. We're real podcasters.
I'm not even going to do anything. All right, Jason, what are you angry about?
I thought you were going first.
That was my rant, and I'm angry that I have to do this with you.
That
I somehow agreed to do it.
Everyone will learn about me as we go along through these podcasts.
How lucky! You kind of want a blessing.
That I really am not a fan of people in general. Anything that I can do to stay away from dealing with the general public is better, and dealing with people face to face. So self-checkout lines would make total sense for me, that it would be the greatest invention ever, and it was, until you realize the fucking morons that you have to stand behind in these fucking self-checkout lines. What I don't understand is my 6-year-old comes with me to the store, can scan something and put it in a bag, but these fucking people stare at the screen like fucking Matt Damon's behind them doing their quantum physics on the fucking chalkboard. I've never seen people look so stupid as they do staring at these computers at self-checkout lines. And not only that, there should be an age limit. If you're over 80 years old, I mean, you should. If you're still writing checks, if you're upset because the self-checkout doesn't take your check, you really should probably go to the.
Take it easy on the seniors, okay?
You really should probably go.
Take it easy on the seniors.
And all of our listeners out there, all 5 of them that are older than 85, stay the fuck out of the self-checkout line. Please.
Where you're not allowed to listen to our show.
I'm begging you. Please stay out.
And you are not allowed to anymore.
And if it says 12 items or less, please, God.
All right.
12 items or less. That's it. That's it. I thought that was
this guy
good.
is.
I thought that was pretty good.
No, that was good. Listen, this guy is the guy that would never take an elevator. Right.
That's actually legit. I was actually
because you would rather take the stairs, and
unless there's no one in the elevator.
Because he cannot stand someone who's going to talk to him in the elevator, but I mean, so he would always take the stairs, which I think is hysterical. You would also think he'd be in better shape for always taking the stairs.
It's definitely not true.
You never know.
No one would think that.
I think he takes 1 or 2 more elevator rides.
We're probably going to have to watch. We got to see how much we can tape at a time, because we don't run out again like we did last.
Well, we can edit around anything, and I'm going to do little transition graphics too.
All right. So
sometimes.
So maybe like half an hour in we
check.
Yeah,
and I think there you go.
It's important stuff.
All right. So let's get into the first segment.
What's our first segment? Should we have a button for it?
Well, we will eventually. Our first segment
is rapid fire.
Come on.
All right, excited.
Here it is.
Everyone's excited.
So the NCAA
rapid fire. Let's start one more.
All right, go ahead. You do it.
There's so many people listening; they should know. Rapid fire. We have a bunch of topics. We hit them for about a minute to a minute and a half each. Give some quick thoughts, and then we move on. Not like any other show you've ever seen. It's we're real innovators here on Angry Dad Sports. So let's get started. Topic number 1. NCAA releases their first tournament rankings. They give you numbers 1 through 16 to get everyone pumped up for March Madness. My question to you, Mr. Freeman, is this good or bad? I think on the good side, maybe it gets people excited for March Madness. College basketball isn't as big right now as it used to be, which is fun. Gives teams a reason to work. Someone comes in at number 16, maybe they want to get to that 1 seed, 2 seed. They think they can. Bad, who the fuck gives a shit about the selection show now? We already know what the fucking rankings are.
Right.
Like, it seemed, now all of a sudden, I think it takes away. I love Selection Sunday. It's fun watching all these names pop
Yeah,
up. But now all of a sudden, we're losing that.
I would agree.
I would agree.
I'm surprised because we generally agree on just a little tiny bit, but I would agree 100% that Selection Sunday is so much fun. Even the casual sports fan will tune in to those, or is at least curious because they like playing. They like filling out their brackets. It's fun. It's a good thing for sports.
So does it matter that they release them now when most people, like you just said, are most people that watch are casual fans? They're not. Most people probably don't even know that the rankings came out at this point.
Right. And my question would just be why and what are the benefits of releasing them now?
I don't know.
It doesn't make sense. I mean, what you can bench your stars and make sure that
I think you fall into the same problem that we talk about this in football. I think you fall into the same problem. So if someone is
why is everything changing?
If someone's put in as a 1 seed right now in these initial rankings, does that affect the committee when it comes to tournament time? Well, they were a 1 seed, so do they get a little more leeway to still be a 1 seed? I think
that's what I'm saying.
Like preseason rankings, I think they suck.
All right, well,
I don't know if we agreed on that or not, but that worked.
We agreed on selection show, lots of excitement.
Moving on, number 2. Do we want to go back and forth? I say one, you say one.
Vonn Miller. Wait, Lindsey
it's
Vonn.
Definitely not
Same
Vonn
thing.
Miller. The only reason that Vonn Miller matters is because he's so hot.
Wow. I think he's talking about Lindsey Vonn. Vonn Miller's a handsome man.
Maybe you should not.
There's no doubt about that.
Maybe you shouldn't do the top.
Why don't you do the rapid fires?
Number 2, Lindsey Vonn, in her final ski of her career,
she did it.
Wins a bronze.
She won.
She does it at the same place. She does it at the same place where she won her first medal, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that is pretty sweet.
Medals,
I always like Lindsey Vonn.
Comes in full circle. So, my question to you, Mr. Freeman, it's amazing what she's done. One of the most decorated downhill skiers of all time from any country. Mm-hmm. So are we interested in this because of that? Because she goes down in the record books. She was the oldest, I think the oldest to win a downhill world at age 30. She was 30. How old is she?
She's like 35?
34. Where'd she go? Where'd my notes go? Oh, there we go.
She's 35.
34 years old and 115 days. So do we care?
That says 35 years old.
Do we care because she is the oldest that won this, or do we care because she is fucking hot? I like now. Tell me what I'd like to know is, can you tell me one other downhill skier, another female downhill skier?
Yes.
Tell me one.
Christina. No, wait. What's her name?
Navratilova?
Yeah, Navratilova. No, the.
You've got 30 seconds in this segment.
The awesome one who won. Yeah, okay. I can't remember her name, but she was wonderful.
But everyone knows Lindsey Vonn. Is it because she's a great downhill skier?
Yes. Here's my
point. It's amazing. It's amazing what she did.
Do you get a minute and a half, or do I get a minute and a half to talk and add?
I was pretty passionate about this one.
Yeah, I know. You're so passionate about downhill skiing. You can barely get enough. I think it's this. I think that she was already a celebrity. Yeah. She already is a person of interest to the public. And she's obviously there's a lot of really talented athletes that don't get the attention that she gets. And why was she a person of interest to the public? Because she had a high-profile dating thing, right? Right?
That's it.
Isn't that right?
That's right, man. Sorry, that's the end.
I'm going to finish my thought. Go ahead.
Moving on. Number 3.
So what do we value?
UFC.
What do we value in this country?
Past weekend,
Looks.
the most popular thing,
Sports.
one of the most popular pay-per-view things that happen are UFC fights. This past weekend, UFC had to cancel its main event. Mm-hmm. The main event, Whitaker versus Gastelum.
Mm-hmm. Say it.
Cancel the main event right before 8 hours. 8 hours beforehand, turns out this Whitaker had a hernia and some kind of twisted bowel, some weird freak, something or other he had in his bowels, had to have emergency surgery.
Excruciating.
So here's my question. My question to you: one, how pissed off are people that they probably already paid for this?
Oh, live it.
Now,
are we going to
get refunds? We don't know. This happened on Sunday.
Wait, were you one of these? Did you ever take it older?
Obviously, by my pronunciation of these names.
Yeah, you're right in.
2, so this guy, the challenger, says that he deserves to be the champ because Whitaker had to forfeit. So my question to you is that valid, or is that just another example of our society wanting something for nothing?
Do you see how he begs the question?
Go.
Look,
Mr. Freeman, go.
I think it's idiotic that he would ever say that.
Idiotic,
but I also know that this is good for the UFC. It's good to get these embroiled matches. I mean, it's not quite Clubber Lang and Rocky Balboa, but at least it's like some drama. Hey, he deserves this. He didn't want to fight me. All that stuff. I think that's fun for any for boxing, for mixed martial arts, for UFC. So. I'm a fan,
but
I'd be furious if I was one of the folks that lost their money on a ticket.
That's what we're talking. We're not talking about how great this fight would have been or how great UFC is.
No, but I'm saying this whole kind of baby stuff. I think he's
about
ridiculous, but I think he knows he's ridiculous for saying it.
Completely. I don't think so. And these guys, you want to talk about, NFL's got all these concussion issues. You want to talk about some concussions? These motherfuckers.
Well,
I mean, they get punched in the head every night. So I don't know what
brings
this
up a larger
problem is, but
larger.
That's a huge issue. Thinking that you deserve the belt just because you showed up. Turns out this guy found out today 6 figures. He's going to get some kind of 6-figure payout from the UFC because the fight was canceled. I think that's completely ridiculous.
Wow.
Moving on, number 4.
I'm in the wrong business.
Number 4. So Duke has come out, and we'll get a lot into Duke later in this podcast. But Duke has come out looking into a sexual assault case from 1999. Woman comes out today, says that a basketball player on Duke's team in 1999 sexually assaulted her. Obviously, all joking aside, this has to be taken seriously. It doesn't matter. There's no statute of limitation on something like this. If it comes out, it comes out. It's got to be taken seriously. I totally get that. What I think is fascinating is that another gentleman was also involved. This gentleman is the current lieutenant governor of Virginia at Duke at the same time. Also, sexual assault with the same girl. Now, current
woman, and she's a doctor, I think.
Current governor of Virginia.
Yeah.
Everyone wants him out because pictures have surfaced of him in blackface. Lieutenant governor is supposed to take over.
Sure.
And now all of a sudden this comes out. Does this look worse for Duke or for the state of Virginia? Chris Freeman, go.
I mean, I think it looks
terrible.
terrible
for
Duke.
everybody.
It looks terrible for the individuals.
There is
and
no
do I
doubt.
think it's
There's
going to
no
affect
doubt about
Duke?
that.
And do I think it's going to public opinion is going to come after Duke? Yes, I do very much so. And look, here's the reality. These high profile programs, lots of testosterone, lots of, we want to win, we want to fight, we'll do whatever we're going to do. Let's blow off steam. Let's do this. Man, you don't want to have a magnifying glass on you because I think a lot of probably things have happened that maybe were never, going to be some horribly brought out into the light, but now they may. Agree. So it's slippery slope for Duke.
I agree. I totally agree with that. But we're talking about the top 2 people in the state.
Oh, it's
of
insane!
Virginia.
And it's insane.
It's got to be worse for the state of Virginia. And I'll be honest with you. I'm always on the. My first instinct is to be on the side of the accuser because it's disgusting. It happens way too much. It's brushed under the rug way too much, especially in Division I college sports. But I do think that it's always interesting to me the timing of some of these accusations. So Duke has what is now, we'll talk about this a little bit later, what is now one of the top teams historically in the last 30 years of college basketball from a Vegas perspective as far as being the favorite to win. I think that this Duke team is like nothing we've seen before. I think that it's very disconcerting that this is the time that these accusations.
So you're suggesting?
I'm not suggesting anything. I think that before we jump to the court of public opinion and hate on Duke, let's make sure that we get all the facts. That's all I'm saying.
Let's also make sure that you turn your text messages off when we're using your phone as the timer.
That's when the timer's over. That's the noise. Dummy. Okay, number 5. Harrison Barnes. You want this one. You wanted this one. I hate the NBA, but you wanted this one. Harrison Barnes traded from the Mavs to the Kings in the middle of the game. We saw his face in the replay. Shocked, upset, dismayed, unbelievable. Traded in the middle of a game.
Yes.
Now, do we like this? Do we not like this?
I love it.
Do we
I love it.
look down on Mark Cuban for it? Do we look down on the NBA?
I think it's awesome. No.
I think it's awesome.
I think it's awesome that can even happen.
You think it's awesome that...
I don't think it's awesome to Harrison Barnes.
That a kid, Harrison Barnes, a 20-something year, the early 20s, right? I get that he's a professional, but
but so what? He's a kid. He's young. I mean, he's not a kid. He's a grown man. and he makes a lot of money.
And
another team had a good match for him for the trade.
I love Mark Cuban.
You know?
I love Mark Cuban. I love what he's done. I hate the NBA, but I love what Mark Cuban's done. But that just seems very tacky.
Well, of course.
You can't. I mean, this guy.
I don't think he cares about his feelings, buddy.
No, I know.
I don't think that he cares about his feelings at all.
And trust me, I'm the last one to defend an NBA player because I think they're all lazy. And I think that they sit out.
Listen, please.
I'm sorry.
Don't make some generalizations. I mean, really tell us what you think.
Generalized statement. I think that the majority of them are just lazy. They sit out when they want to sit out. They get guaranteed contracts, and half the time they don't deserve them. But in spite of all that, I think
you could run for commissioner next. The next commissioner. I'm sure the players' union would love you.
I think it's crazy. I think it's crazy. Next up. This is actually my favorite. French rugby team.
I knew this would be his favorite.
French rugby team.
Of course it is.
French rugby team called U.S. Carcassonne.
Yeah.
Why U.S.? French rugby team. They are getting a porn site to sponsor their game. It is bananas. They are getting a porn site to sponsor the next game. And guess what happens?
Yeah.
As soon as the public hears about this, ticket prices, bam, through the roof. Everyone wants to go to the game. So my question to you: one, I think it's genius. What the fuck?
It's always smart to be the first to do something.
And what the fuck is rugby?
That's the whole race.
But my problem with it is
it's the same as the race to electricity.
My problem with it is how stupid are people to pay more money to go? What do they think? Are porn stars going to be running around in the field? I mean,
might be part of the cross promotion.
That's absolutely not going to be. They're going to wear a little
some kind of interest, something of interest.
They're going to wear a
certain
little
folks
logo. They're going to wear
different
a little
places.
logo on their shirt, and they're going to play the game, and everyone's going to go. And my guess is, if rugby fans are anything like rugby players,
the real question would be,
they're going to be first of all, they're going to be wasted.
Check it out though. Wait, I got the best take on
this.
this, and I want the whatever award we get because here it is, right? I'll bet there'll be an increase in rugby porn, like with like rugby players and like.
No, God! No, God! Please,
Suddenly,
God. Anyways, I think that we can go ahead and stop that. I think it's fascinating, though. Number 7, Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show just finished last night.
I watched the whole thing.
I have lots of interesting tidbits about this. First of all, the second longest running sporting event in the United States.
Everyone knows that.
The Kentucky Derby. That is absolutely not true. Not everybody knows that.
Everybody does.
Predates two pretty big inventions. I don't know if you've heard of these or not.
The cotton gin.
Predates the light bulb.
Yeah.
And the automobile. Pretty big
and the
deal.
cotton gin.
Number one breed.
Eli Whitney.
Number one breed since it started. Terriers.
Clearly.
Guess what won this year?
Terrier.
A terrier.
Yeah.
King.
They're the kings of the dog
Fox
shows.
Terrier.
Kings of the canines.
Fox Terriers are also the kings of the terriers. Most terrier wins at 18. Last year, Bichon Frise won. Non-sporting. Non-sporting category. I think what's interesting is this Bichon Frise's name last year. Bells Creek, all I care about is love. Now, who the fuck is going to name their dog that? How do you...
Someone who really cares a lot about love. Someone who really...
All I care about is wondering how many fucking weirdos live in this fucking world that this is an actual thing. Have you seen these people?
Yes, I love this stuff.
God, you love
Are you kidding me?
Maybe you should be a dog trainer. I love this stuff. Anyways, congratulations to King, the Fox Terrier.
So if the guys out there, I have a take on this real quick. The one thing is, I was told by a kennel master one time.
That's right.
Not too long ago, recently.
I forgot that you
and he said,
befriended
if
a kennel
two
master.
Terriers, if it's neck and neck and it's two terriers and it's a total tie, what's the tiebreaker? It's unreal. The judges go down.
I knew
they feel the nuts and then they measure the penis.
Oh my God!
That's
right.
it.
I was kidding.
And whatever wins is what you get points for both. Yeah, that's amazing. I bet it's the highlight of the day for the dogs.
God,
so,
geez.
what do you think?
I think that we are moving on. Last but not least, we film here.
Finishing and winning.
We film here in Ohio.
That's what I meant,
so,
of course.
Big news here in the state of Ohio. The Cleveland Browns have signed known woman beater Kareem Hunt.
Oh, you call him
a 1 year to a 1 year deal. We are somehow going to keep this to a minute and a half. I'm sorry.
I don't think you can use that phrase. That's just not even cool.
A known woman.
We all saw the video.
Antagonizer.
That's fair.
Fine.
He made contact. I just think that's harsh to label him something
valid.
like that.
That is absolutely valid. Known woman antagonizer have signed with the Browns, 1-year deal. Still on the commissioner's exempt list, cannot play yet. I've heard anything from 6 to 8 to 12 games, maybe the season.
Right.
Browns are going to pay him something. We don't know how much.
We do know how much. We've got some info on that.
So Freeman will give you a quick 10-second rundown of what he's going to make, and then I want to hear Freeman's.
Put any time limits on me.
I want to hear your opinion.
I don't want any restraints.
Hey,
so he made 50. So according to SportTrack.com, he made $55,000 for the workout.
Okay.
Base salary is $645,000 and a roster.
But we don't know how much of that he gets based on.
We don't know what the minimum guarantee. If there's
game.
an MG or if anything's guaranteed.
If anyone wants to call in, if you want to call in and let us know during the podcast, the phone lines are open.
Right. So anyway, so my thoughts on this are
the numbers should be flashing at the bottom of the screen.
Pretty much line up with what I've seen other better sports stock analysts sharing, and that is that everybody deserves a second chance. He's gonna go through the whole process, including being suspended and maybe not even playing next year at all.
Well, I think he's a dumpster fire. He's a complete dumpster fire.
Well, I mean,
Browns used to be a dumpster fire. Maybe this is a big turnaround for everyone.
He's like 23 or 24 years old.
It's a turnaround for everybody.
And he's a Pro Bowler, and he's a rare talent. So
right now,
his talent is what got him the opportunity. That's it.
Right now, tell me this.
But I thought the Browns were genius swooping in and doing it.
Does this happen? Does he get in trouble again for something very similar to this within the next year?
He'll never. No, he will not.
He does not. You say he does.
He does not.
I say he does.
No,
I say that some other domestic abuse, something comes to light, whether it happens while he's there or has already happened. It comes to light.
I think he stops drinking with friends, and Browns put security with him, and I think that's what happens.
Do you remember Josh Gordon? Do you remember Josh Gordon when they tried to do that?
Don't compare him to Josh Gordon. Josh Gordon says he's an addict that has a problem.
The Browns have a history.
Glass house. He's throwing the rocks at the glass house. He lives in a glass house.
End of rapid fire.
Glass house. We're back.
Is that the appropriate?
Thank you for waiting.
All right, segment number 2. Here we go. Segment number 2. What should we use for this? Segment number 2.
Nice.
This is fun. This is a little segment we like to call topics. We're going to get into.
This is a radical new concept in sports broadcasting.
Everything doesn't have to be super creative.
This is a wild new segment called Topics.
We are going to get into 3 topics. We're going to spend a little bit more time on them. These are things we want to dive a little bit more in depth on. Let me fix my timer so that we're still kind of having an idea.
Yes, please. Let's make sure we steer up these rigid rules we've set.
All right. Topic number 1. I think that this is a good place to start. We got into a smidge of Duke and their legal woes that may befall Coach Krzyzewski, although they've tried this before to him.
He's not even reading off a cue card or anything.
That's
actually nice.
It's not. What I would like to talk about
is... Good sentence.
So, rankings came out. Duke is number 1, but in the AP and coaches poll, Duke is number 2 behind Tennessee. Duke is
number 2.
Number 2 behind Tennessee, coming off a
huge number 2.
Huge win at Virginia this past weekend. Last night, unbelievable.
Yes.
23 points down, largest deficit in Coach
Pretty
K's
impressive
career to have a comeback.
Pretty impressive.
In fact, the largest deficit Duke has had a comeback win in since 1950, where they did it against Tulane. 23 points, come back. They were down 19 with 6.5 minutes left. Came back, won the game by 2. Louisville missed a shot at the end. Louisville's a legit team, number 16 in the country. Chris Mack has done amazing things with that team, and I think you can tell what kind of coach Chris Mack is when you see what Xavier looks like this year. They are dog shit, and the reason they're dog shit is because Chris Mack is gone. He's an amazing coach. He's doing great things with Louisville. They weren't supposed to be back for a couple years. That is going to be a team to battle with in the next couple years in the ACC. But what I want to talk about is Duke. Historically, one of the biggest favorites to win the national championship at this point in the year was the 2014-15 Kentucky team. That was the team that was 38-1, lost in the Final Four to Wisconsin that year.
I remember in that talk, yeah.
So to put into perspective what the Vegas odds look like. That team was plus 110 to win. That means $100 or $100 to win $110. That's completely absurd. Most teams at this point in the year, usually the favorite to win everything is going to be plus 250, 300. Duke right now plus 160. Plus 160 with two losses. One to Gonzaga and one to Syracuse. Bad loss to Syracuse, but it was a bad spot for Duke. Trey Jones got hurt right at the beginning of the game. My question to you, my friend, Mr. Freeman, is this Duke team the greatest team that has been around in the last 30 years? I think that we talk about UNLV.
You're saying the best. You're saying the best team. Period.
I think
not the best Duke team or the best team. Period.
Best
in
team
the last 30 years.
Period.
What are you taking it back to the Leitners to Duke?
No. I'll take it.
Who's your best team of all time? This is a topic we can.
I feel like that this is.
Give me your all time. Your all time.
I think that this might be. It's hard to compare because you're talking about two completely different types of basketball. So in the 90s, it was team basketball. Nobody left early. It wasn't one and dones. Now it's one.
Do you know how I feel about this opinion of yours that you're asking me a question? If they're the best in the last 30 years,
I will look for you. I will find you. And I will kill you.
So I want to know.
I think you're insane to suggest that.
But just hear me out.
Okay.
And that's fine. I think that's crazy. A team that already has two losses. When you had a UNLV team in 1990 that went undefeated and won the national championship. A team that, much like this Duke team, had 4 starters that all went to the NBA that year. In fact, all 5 of those starters that year that UNLV won. Larry Johnson, Stacey Ogden, Anderson. All 5 of those starters went. But here's the thing about this Duke team. So not only are they the favorite to win, I mean, look at that team. Look at that Kentucky team. 38-1. Anthony Towns, Willie Cauley-Stein, the Harrison brothers, Booker, Lyles.
You're not drinking your drink.
Those are NBA caliber players. Those are NBA caliber players. Now, what scares me about this Duke team, and the reason I would not put money on them right now, you're getting terrible value.
Because you would lose your money.
You're getting terrible value.
You would lose your. You know why you wouldn't put it? Because it's gone.
You're getting bad value.
Sleight of hand.
You're getting bad value at plus 160 because of how
sleight
good
of
they
hand.
are. But this Duke team. So this comes up every time there's a great team. Can a college team beat an NBA team? And I think that it's absurd.
I feel like I'm in a twilight zone.
Let me finish. I think it's absurd to say that. So the worst team in the NBA right now is the Knicks. I think maybe the Cavs. I think the Knicks and the Cavs. You haven't even let me finish.
No, that point. That is
the worst team.
The Cavs are the worst team.
No,
in
the Knicks have a worse record.
It doesn't matter. The Cavs are the worst team.
So let's say so can this Duke team beat the Cavs? Let's just say the Cavs, which I think that it's crazy to say. I definitely don't think that. However, this Duke team has got 4 starters that are all 4 going to be top first round draft picks.
Okay.
These are.
Let me ask you.
Now, wait. These are 4 first. So this team has got 4 first round draft picks. So this is not some college team playing against.
That's okay.
An NBA team. This is 4 NBA players.
I hear what you're saying. So my question would simply be this: I hear it's different than a football argument.
But
let me say one thing.
I think this is it. I'm going to finish and I'm going to stop talking. The only reason I think that an NBA team beats this Duke team, the worst, whoever you think is the worst team in the league, is depth. So the NBA team has got 5 starters and bench players that are all top players from college or from high school. They're the top players in the world. Duke has got 4 of those players, and then a bunch of guys that are probably.
Here's what I'm going to say.
So what I think would be interesting, is to do like a shortened game, like a half of a game, like one half. And do Duke's 5 starters against the Cavs 5 starters.
Okay,
so
this
then
is what
you take depth out of it.
That's fine. So here you go. Here's what I'd love to say to you, okay? Not only would they would get crushed by the Cavs, number 1. Okay?
5 on 5.
5 on 5, they'd get crushed by the Cavs. And you know what? Guess what? I got 2 teams.
Surprise, motherfucker.
I got 2 teams that they can't even beat in college. Gonzaga, who by the way is going to win it all. Who by the way is going to win it all. You got my pick.
First of all,
Gonzaga's going to win it all. First
of all, Duke played Gonzaga. Gonzaga always plays strong against teams at the beginning of the season because they're veteran players.
Gonzaga beat the Cleveland Cavaliers?
No, because Gonzaga as a whole is not an NBA team.
I didn't have Syracuse because I know that Duke was down. I knew Duke was down a star. So that's different.
Gonzaga is not an NBA caliber team.
They're just better than Duke.
This Duke
on a.
No, and that was the beginning of the season. You're talking about 4 freshmen that played together for a summer, versus a team that's played together for 4 years. It's not the same thing. I think that, let me tell you something, and we can put this down right now. I need a little money button here. Right now.
Did they play Gonzaga at home?
It was a neutral. Was it the Maui?
Oh, so they beat them on a neutral site.
Right now, if Duke plays Gonzaga in the championship game, I want 25.
Let it go. Can't hold it back anymore.
If Duke plays Gonzaga in the tournament,
Yeah.
I want straight up, no spread. I want
Straight up.
I say $25. Duke beats
Straight up your ass. All right, $25.
$25.
I'll take the bet.
Fine.
If Gonzaga and Duke meet in the game,
In the tournament,
yep,
$25 straight up, no spread. I've got Duke.
right.
Good. All right, so I feel like we've covered that, and obviously, I win. Next.
Wait, you had one other thing. Don't move on. This is.
Oh,
this
we want
is
to talk
good.
about. We want to talk about
Who's better?
We want to talk. Oh, so we want to talk about. So the top teams, the four teams that the committee came out with as the number one seeds.
Right.
Duke, Gonzaga, Kentucky, or Duke, Gonzaga, Tennessee, Virginia.
Right.
Now
I got my
Virginia 2 losses, both to Duke.
Right.
Gonzaga, Tennessee's in it. Tennessee has a loss, which they lost to North Carolina on a neutral court, which is a good loss. That's not a bad loss at all. Early in the season, again. And Gonzaga has a loss to Tennessee. So it's crazy how
Nothing matters till conference play starts.
Well, it's crazy.
I mean, like
it's
as far
crazy,
as like
it's crazy
who
how
they're going to be.
These are the four
That's my
teams we're talking
opinion.
about. This is what I think. This is one of the things I love about college basketball. We're talking about the 4 top teams in the country. Yeah, 2 are in the same conference, but the rest of them aren't. And they've all there's this weird web of how they've all kind of played each other. And so from that,
I don't understand his metaphor, but
no. What I'm saying is that so it's easy to say, well, Gonzaga beat Duke, so Gonzaga is better than Duke, but Duke beat Tennessee, or Duke beat. Oh no, Duke is going to beat Carolina, and Carolina beat Tennessee, but Tennessee beat Gonzaga. So I think that.
So who's your top 4?
That's absolutely my top 4.
Who are your top 4?
Tennessee, Duke, Tennessee, Gonzaga, Virginia. That's my top 4 teams in the country. I don't disagree with that.
I got a little variation, and this is why I just think that, and I know everybody's so high on Virginia. I just think Kentucky or Michigan.
So Kentucky.
That's what I think.
So Kentucky, who just lost last night to LSU, strong LSU team, but at home, Kentucky's first home loss this year.
Right.
I think that takes Kentucky out of the top 4. And Michigan lost last night.
We usually have a little thing for this, but right now
lost
we're
last night to Penn State.
I know they did. Penn State's not a bad team.
What's Penn State's record this year?
I know it's not good.
Oh,
but
it's
I'm just
awful.
saying they're not a bad team.
So I absolutely disagree with you. This Virginia team is different than Tony Bennett's teams in the past because they have offense. They can score. They're one of the top. I think they're number 15 in the country in 3-point shooting. They're one of the top 3-point shooting teams in the country. This is a good Virginia team. This is a strong, efficient offense. They can score when they need to. I think that Virginia is. You cannot compare them to Michigan because Michigan's offense has been putrid.
Oh, I gotta get my mixer.
One drink and you're done, huh?
That's it. He's good.
All right,
King of the neighborhood.
So we agree, $25 to me when Duke beats Gonzaga.
Are you putting it out to the universe?
You,
You're so positive.
You, shocker, give way too much love to the Big Ten. I'm shocked. I can't believe it. You never do that.
What are you talking about?
Michigan, you can't say that you think Michigan.
Dude, I think Michigan beat any. Not even. I know that there's a lot of teams that can beat anybody on any given day.
Anyway,
I get it.
I know, I agree.
But if you seriously think Michigan, I think Michigan would probably be my second pick to win it all.
Then you should bet on it because you get real good odds.
Yeah.
Because Vegas doesn't agree.
Well, we'll see. And I'm no fan of Michigan. Trust me.
Let me tell you who doesn't lose money. Vegas.
Right.
All right, moving on. We got
Vegas. We need more beer.
A lot to cover. Topic number 2. Here we go. So this past weekend, Kyrie Irving of the Celtics. I know we both are not huge fans of the NBA, but I think this is fascinating.
I like Kyrie Irving.
Goes out with a knee injury, and what a shocker!
Don't speak for me. Speak
what
for
a
yourself.
Shocker.
Whitlock.
What a shocker! The NBA
Yeah.
has a team that goes from 28 down to winning. Clippers beat the Celtics after Kyrie Irving goes out. The NBA is a joke. The point swings in the NBA are completely absurd. And it happens all the time. But I digress. Marcus Morris, Kyrie Irving's teammate of the Celtics, comes out and says, bashing, essentially, to me, it sounds like bashing the team. Nobody's having any fun. Nobody's really working. It's just not fun anymore.
Okay.
It's just not fun anymore. He's saying, and he says, they're playing like a bunch of individuals.
Okay.
Which, what a shocker. An NBA team playing as a bunch of individuals. That's what the NBA does.
Hey, the man is trying to add constructive criticism
my
to
point,
help his team.
My point is the NBA is all individuals. It's all one-on-one. That's how every
It's
team
matchups.
plays.
Yes.
So here's my question. This is what I don't understand. So does it matter if the players are having fun to the fans?
Yes.
So does it?
No.
Because,
Not at all. Winning. Guess
I
what's fun? Winning.
Do the fans care if, like, in college you see guys Duke beats Duke this game against Louisville, they're all jumping and hugging and the team's all on the court
right.
and the fans are going.
Right.
The Duke fans.
They're
are going
younger
crazy.
men. They've experienced less.
So
this is amazing for
so
them.
as a fan, don't you want to see that in your team? Don't you want your team to be excited?
You want your team to be like
you get that
Baker
in the NBA.
Mayfield.
I don't think you get that in the NBA.
or other
I think honestly that's why I struggle
passionate
with
players.
That's why I struggle with the NBA. It doesn't seem like the players.
You
really
want
care.
Lawrence Taylor on your team, who's screaming and growling and screaming at the quarterback.
But do fans really care?
Yeah, no, because they really only care about winning. No, because guess what?
Winning.
It's way more fun to win.
That's not the point. My point is, I want to see
Remember the greatest show on turf? Let's take it back.
Yeah.
Remember? And the Tennessee Titans were half a yard away from winning that Super Bowl, and never having and Kurt Warner and Isaac Bruce and.
What?
That's the greatest show on turf, right?
The Titans?
Yes.
Isaac
No,
Bruce?
St. Louis.
You said the Titans.
The Rams. Right, they
You
were
said the
half a
Titans.
yard away from winning in the Super Bowl that year.
The Titans were.
The Titans were.
Right, but
Yeah.
the Rams won.
Right, but my whole point is okay, it's half a yard. So that stuff isn't the same in the NBA until you get into the latter half of the season.
Well, obviously,
and you're running down the.
Obviously,
you know what I mean?
Obviously, nobody in the NBA cares about anything until the playoffs. Which makes sense because 90% of the NBA gets into the playoffs. So I understand that the regular season in the NBA is absolutely the most meaningless regular season in any sport across any.
So that's why I'm saying anything that's kind of happening now, if it feels,
I'll tell you what, I don't like the NBA. I don't enjoy it. I don't think it's good basketball. I think that they're incredible. They're some of the best athletes in the world. There's no doubt about that. But I don't think it's good basketball. However, this Marcus Morris guy, he almost makes me want to watch the NBA. I love that he's upset.
Yeah, I like that too. That's great.
He's upset that his team is not having fun anymore. He wants to enjoy it. He wants to be crushed when they lose and be excited when they win. I can appreciate that. I know the NBA.
Right, but that's what I was going to take it back to. Okay, but I was taking it back to that Tennessee Titans team. They didn't score, a billion points there. I mean, they had McNair and Eddie George. But my whole point was this. It doesn't matter how you win it at the end of the day. Fans only really care about winning. So if the Rams had lost, if the best teams lose, professional fans. That's what I'm saying. So you're asking if we want to see people celebrating, they want that youthful enthusiasm come on, give me a break.
Don't get me wrong. Even as a Duke fan, a high state football fan, I would rather Duke win the national championship. If my choice was seeing them excited every game or win the national championship, yes, I would rather see them win the national championship. But my point is, for me, it takes a little bit away from the sport. It takes a little bit away from the sport when I know they're doing it. It really is.
Let's riff on one more thing related to that. Do you care if your team? So think about Alabama, Ohio State, and college football blowing people out. It's different. It's not like basketball because it's 62-3. In the third quarter, and then basically the top, Alabama stops playing. Yeah. So would you, as a fan, rather watch your team score 63-3 all throughout the seasons? Maybe you have a couple competitive games for the championship and something else.
Yes.
Or watch your team play well and win every week, but they're actual games every game. Just as a fan, which one would you care?
I would rather blow them out.
Me too.
Every week
So I think it's the same answer for what you're asking.
I
Which
guess.
is why no one cares if Cuban traded the guy, because if it works out, then
I don't know.
at the end of the day,
it just for me, it just takes
the
something
fans care.
It just takes something away from the sport when you know the players really don't care.
You know, there's a few sports that are kind of their own thing, and the NBA didn't used to be its own thing. Like, you could kind of, at least when I, like in the 80s and 90s, I felt like, you know, that it was like NFL, NBA, baseball, MLB, you know, and before I actually started watching hockey. And so, but hockey's its own thing. There are no other, you can't make comparisons like, you know, like it's not the top sport in America, which is where we are, you know, just like soccer's not the top sport here, though it is in the world, as football, obviously. But what I'm saying, thank you, that's for everyone who doesn't know, on planet Earth.
Thank you.
But no, listen, this is my whole point is this. Like, at the end of the day, you really just want your team to win. It doesn't matter what happens.
I know, and I get it. You know, there's what's the movie with Drew Barrymore and Jimmy Fallon, Fever Pitch. And there's a scene in that. Like,
Never Been Kissed. That's his favorite of all time.
He's the diehard Boston fan.
Yeah.
And Boston, he has season tickets. He goes to a game, they lose. Then he goes out to dinner and he sees the Boston guys sitting at dinner, and they're all laughing and joking after loss. And he's like, "How can these guys laugh and joke? They lost. Like, he's crushed." Because they lost, and these guys. So I get it. It's different for the players. It's their job. It's their profession. And
they're professionals.
You can't get pumped up for every single game.
Unlike us
I totally get that. It's frustrating to hear. It's frustrating. I feel like this is a common theme in the NBA that players aren't having fun and don't care as much. And anyways, moving on. Topic number 3. This. Hey, I was very excited to talk about this.
Don't touch the merchandise.
The Alliance of American Football. So
I love it.
I
love it.
The new.
I love it.
Let me pull this.
I watched both games. There were 4.
4 of them.
Yeah, I watched both of 4.
I watched
the two that were on like ESPN.
Alliance for any of you out there that don't know what this is, I would be shocked if you don't know what this is. But it's okay if you don't. The Alliance of American Football is the new football league started by Bill Polian and Dick Ebersol.
And Lawrence Taylor.
Dick Ebersol. Charlie Ebersol.
I wish Lawrence Taylor was part of the leadership.
Dick Ebersol.
God, it would be an interesting league.
Dick Ebersol of NBC Sport. This is what I think is interesting about this whole thing. This is a CBS sports thing.
Right.
The American.
I really didn't know Dick Ebersol was still alive until this announcement, which I feel terrible about because I like the man.
So his son,
his
Charlie
professional
Ebersol and Bill Polian have come up with this new football league. Just started this past weekend, coming out to compete. Not compete with the NFL. They're calling it an augmentation to the NFL is what they're calling it. Where it doesn't take place at the same time. It's going to start in April. It's an
alternate reality.
8 teams, 10 games, 14 playoff. I think it's fascinating.
Period piece.
And it's not like arena football where there's the condensed field and it's all offense. They have the rules set up to have more offense. But I'll tell you, the first games, not
they
high
were
scoring.
pretty good.
And I thought I was pretty impressed.
I was too.
Best part about it, who scored the first touchdown of the Alliance of American Football?
Who did it?
Jalen Marshall.
Oh, he threw the pass from the Ohio State. He scored the first one.
Caught one first.
And then he threw the Philly special.
The Ohio State
that
awesome.
That was pretty cool.
Good for Jalen Marshall. It's good to see Buckeyes still doing stuff.
I always thought Jalen Marshall was going to work out with the Jets, to be honest. I really did. I was disappointed.
But there's some interesting stuff involved in this league. I thought the games were fun. I like a lot of
I thought the play was
solid.
Was very, very solid. High.
Bill Polian's been interviewed about this.
High on the bar.
He's basically saying that these teams should be able to compete at a high level with the backups in the NFL. He's not saying these are not NFL teams, but
how interesting would it be if Bill Polian went rogue and that would be that would be so much fun.
A little side note: Bill Polian's son, Brian Polian. I went to school with at John Carroll, and he was the only person ever to deny my ID at the bar we went to. Quinn's in Cleveland.
What a dick! What was his name?
Brian Polian.
Fuck you, Brian Polian.
He's the special teams coach for Notre Dame right now.
He's a piece of shit.
He was the head coach, I think, for New Mexico.
You deny my friend. You deny me. So, and all of my people.
Brian Polian, if you want to come on our show, you are welcome. I would love to tell you why you denied my ID from Quinn's. It looked nothing like me. But That was not the point.
Brian,
All my
you've
friends-
earned my respect for doing your job. Cheers, sir.
All my friends
Continue
staring
the
at
good
me.
work.
It was very uncomfortable. So, Brian Polian, I'm coming for you.
You learned your lesson.
Alliance of American Football. I think that I love the rules. All you gotta do is swipe up, man. This is not.
Swipe up.
There.
It's an L.
I love the rules.
Security
I
is
think
an
that
L.
it's fun. But what I think is interesting. So those involved. Listen to this list. Listen to this name of people involved. Troy Polamalu, Hines Ward. I guess it's all Pittsburgh Steelers. Justin Tuck, Mike Pereira, the Fox officials.
The Fox
guy.
officiating analyst, yeah.
Dick Ebersol, NBC
Right,
Sports,
genius, right?
Jared Allen.
I love Jared Allen, yeah, who
I'm
doesn't-
a Bears
who doesn't?
fan, but I absolutely hate the Vikings. But good for Jared
But
Allen.
you respect Jared Allen.
But what's fascinating to me is
His
that
massive
this
wingspan.
What's fascinating to me, I think that what this is this
Jeez.
shows you how huge the NFL is. Because these are all different people from all different networks. People that currently work for other networks
NFL.
are now putting together something for CBS.
Man, we better let's keep doing publicity for these guys because maybe this is the way to go. Maybe this is how we make it to the big time,
It's
sir.
fascinating. It's fascinating to me that is it. So wait, is it the NFL? Is it the NFL or is it Disney? CBS. Is that what's say Disney comes out and says, "Hey, I know you work for Fox, but
Let
come
me
and do
say
this
this.
for me."
This
I think that this
commonly
is
known, common knowledge that I worked for while I was on Disney's payroll.
Yep.
Before, but common knowledge to all my fans. But anyway,
There are
Disney.
There are fives of them.
Disney is like, I mean, they're like 2 or 3 steps ahead of everybody all the time. So
Yeah.
it comes as no surprise. Do I think this will be successful?
Fascinating.
I actually enjoyed watching. I was actually
Good.
at the bar.
I thought it was good football.
Like, think about this.
I thought it was good football.
I was at the bar and I watched 2 games at the bar on Sunday, and it's February, almost Valentine's Day.
Fun,
It's
fun,
amazing.
fun football.
Yeah.
So
Great. It was great.
for
Good
people,
job.
I think that that part of
The product was good, and I watched
Product was
McMahon's.
good.
I watched Vince McMahon's all the way.
So
100%.
So that'll be interesting because the XFL
Right.
back next year, 2020, same time. Competing football leagues. I think that'll be interesting. But how smart?
That's why they put Alliance together, probably.
How smart is this? That the Alliance they sign these guys for 3-year deals.
They launched
so
them
none
first.
of these players can play in the XFL.
Yeah, and you know why? Because they want to
So
crush.
smart.
They
So
want to
smart.
crush McMahon.
Very smart. I think this is gonna be fun. Here's some of the players that are in it. Hackenberg, we remember him. Trent Richardson, Browns remember
Right.
him. Bishop
Gene
Sankey,
Hackman is in it.
Bishop Sankey, Denard Robinson.
Bishop Sankey.
Denard
Oh my
Robinson.
God! Do you know how many times? Like every time he was on when
Fantasy, he's fantasy gold. Bishop Sankey.
Oh, Sankey.
It's good, but what's great I think are the coaches.
But good for Sankey.
Spurrier, Mike Martz, Mike Singletary, Mike Riley, Rick Neuheisel. These are legit.
You must be a Mike.
Legit names. I think that these are great coaches. These are legit names. I think this is gonna be fun. But the most interesting of all
Great
these,
coaches. Martz is a great.
Spurrier.
Spurrier for sure. I was thinking of
Martz.
Singletary.
Neuheisel.
I was thinking of
Neuheisel
Singletary.
got into some
Singletary.
trouble at Washington and Colorado.
Singletary, a brilliant player. A genius.
I'm
But
saying Singletary for the name, but what's interesting is that the Atlanta Legends, who their offensive coordinator is Mike Vick. Interesting.
Awesome.
Brad Childress was their head coach, resigned already.
Although-
before the season even started.
Wow.
Brad Childress was their head coach. He resigned a month after he signed. So I don't know if that's good or bad for the league or for the Atlantic
Well, they
Legends.
played great.
The Atlanta Legends, but I think that's fat.
Didn't
This
the
Kevin Coyle.
They're 1-0.
Kevin Coyle was their defensive coordinator. I think got moved up to head coach. I'm excited about the league. I think it's gonna be fun. For those of you that do like to gamble, there are lines on all these, which is awesome. But they also have an app that does a fantasy game through the app where you're picking plays, like what plays they're gonna call next.
That's pretty
And
cool.
I think it's gonna be fun. I'm really excited about it. I think that they did it the right way.
I think so too.
And I think that they're gonna. I think that
We
that
agree
Vince-
on all of
I
this.
think that Vince
It's
McMahon-
not going to be better than the XFL.
I think that Vince McMahon is going to have to rethink what he's going to have to.
You-
they're going to have to postpone it for another year.
Stop.
The reason it didn't work the last time.
You're
It didn't work the
you're
last
out of your
time.
mind. Listen, I'm telling
didn't
you
work
why
the
it's
last
going
time,
to
the
work.
second one
You
this
ready?
time.
The reason it will work. He's not revealing what he's doing, dude. That's like calling someone before you invade them and going, "Hey, we're going to do this." He's got plans.
I don't buy it. He had plans last time. He was hiding there. He came out and it was a bust.
No, he just didn't have any more money to spend, man. If he would have weathered the
Vince McMahon
storm,
didn't have any money.
no, it didn't make sense. If he would have weathered the storm, he learned from his mistakes.
Maybe.
Vince McMahon is a genius.
This American Alliance already has.
This is the guy. We're down in his. Look, we have a dollhouse behind us.
Already partnered
this
with
is the guy.
Alliance.
Questioning
already
McMahon.
Partnered with MGM.
Questioning Stephanie McMahon
Smart.
and the rest of the McMahon family.
And I think real quick,
it's despicable to me.
I think what's crazy is that the XFL, their big thing was they were
Good
more
day,
stronger,
sir.
Good day, stronger. I think it's interesting. Did you see this hit?
Hold on, I'm looking for
Who was
something really insulting to
the
you.
San Antonio Commanders. Now wait a second. Did you see this? You already played that one.
I will look for you. I will find you.
That's what Vince McMahon is saying to
And I
you.
will
Did you
kill
see
you.
this hit in the San Antonio Commanders?
No, I did not. I did not
where
see
the-
this.
But
I did watch that game.
Sean Washington, linebacker, hits the quarterback, Mike Berkovich.
And he traveled through time.
Hit him so hard his helmet blew off. No flag called. In the NFL, this is absolutely like guys probably fined and kicked out of the league. Now, what I want to know is if we think I don't know if this is going to be going forward or if this just happened.
Oh no, it will not
new.
go forward. You know
It's
why?
interesting.
Goodell.
It's really interesting.
Goodell took the ball gag out of his mouth that the owners keep on him most of the time. And
This hit
I
was
said
something.
that. And they called him and
This hit
said,
was
and Goodell called them and said, "Hey, guess what? Penalty. Do not show us up. Do not show us.
Polian
Do not upstand. What am I trying to say? Well, definitely don't show us up, but
Polian wants us to
upstage us.
Polian wants us to be safer. That's why there's no
The
kickoffs.
face is a frame.
That's why there's no
for the
kickoffs. But
of your eyes.
I thought it was. I thought it was interesting. I thought this hit was interesting. There was no flag. That is it. That is it with our brand new topic segment. Segment topics.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's called Topics.
That was it. So now
Here we go.
We're gonna get into this real quick.
Thank God.
This is gonna be fun. I'll do this quick.
As fast as we
Do
can.
this quick, and then you can jump in.
Faster than the speed of light.
Let's see. Here we go. This is it.
X gon' give it to you. Fuck, wait for you to get it on your own.
I'm with this.
So this is it. This is what everyone, every three of you have been waiting for. My throwdown three. I'm going to give you every week we do this podcast. I'm going to give you a throwdown three. This is my three best bets of the week. This can be across any sports. This week it happens to be on basketball. I said on the first podcast, which all three of you heard, that if you're betting on college basketball, this is what you need to do. Small conferences.
Yep.
Look at the little conferences. Stay away from the big conferences. The big conferences have big money on them. Big money means big line movements.
Yep.
Cap your games. Look at how the spread comes out. That line that you like in that little conference is not going to move. Here's your throwdown three. Valentine's Day edition, baby. Number one, tomorrow. All three of these, Valentine's Day. First one, 7 o'clock. Citadel at East Tennessee State. Southern Conference. Right here, you heard this right here. Southern Conference, 2 bids to the NCAA this year. I guarantee it. This is a strong conference. They're producing. They look good. East Tennessee State, 16-8 against the spread. Impressive. You know this name, Jeremy Rodriguez? No, you don't know this name. Learn this name. You're going to see it. This is a good team. 12 points per game, 11 rebounds per game. They're playing the Citadel at home. They played at the Citadel 3 weeks ago, maybe. As a 6-point favorite,
I love that he looked
beat
at me to
them,
confirm this.
Beat them by 25 points. They're crushing people in this conference, except for the
They're
top
good
teams.
teams.
They're crushing people except for the top teams. Last 2 games, lost against the spread and lost straight up. Who'd they play? Wofford and Furman. 2 of the top teams in this conference. Wofford, this is your automatic bid. This is going to be a tournament bid. If they don't win the SoCon tournament, they will be in this tournament. This is a good team. Hung tight against North Carolina at the beginning of the season. Beat North Carolina last year. It's a legit team, Wofford. This East Tennessee State, top rebounding team in the conference. Number 2 in offense, number 4 in defense. Now, they suck against defending the 3, but guess what Citadel doesn't do? Shoot the 3. Fucking terrible. Write it down right now. Spread is East Tennessee minus 15.5. It's a shit ton of points, but guess what? Just play the 2 top teams in the conference. Got nothing coming up. All they want to do is show how good they are. They're going to beat the living piss out of the Citadel. You heard that? Citadel, last 10 games, 2-8-1. East Tennessee State minus 15.5. Take it. You're welcome. Next one we got in the WAC. 7 o'clock game. Grand Canyon Antelopes That's right.
Great.
Versus University of
Great
Missouri, Kansas
mascots.
City Kangaroos. Who in the hell would not want to watch the Antelopes against the Kangaroos? Well,
I certainly would like to
you.
watch the Kangaroos.
I got news for you right now.
I know
You're taking Grand
Tina
Canyon.
would too.
Have you ever heard of Grand Canyon? Probably not.
I've heard of them.
This is a team. I think this might even be the first team in first year in Division I basketball. Legit team. -7.
Oh, I thought you were asking us if we've heard of the Grand Canyon.
You've heard of the Grand Canyon. Have you heard of this team?
Yeah, this guy.
You know,
I'm like, who hasn't heard of the Grand?
Some people want to win.
This
Some
man.
people want to win money. I'm trying to. Get
I know
them
you are.
to
Keep
win
going.
money. Here we go. In the WAC, Missouri, Kansas City. Listen to these numbers: 11-12 against the spread. Lost 4 of their last 6 against the spread. Not a good team. Grand Canyon coming off 2 very close losses against the 2 top teams in this conference. They're the 3rd best team. New Mexico State, UT Rio Grande Valley. That's another name. Learn it. They're Grand Canyon's getting a lot of value right here. This should be a 9-10 point spread. Only 7. They're getting value because of these 2 losses they just had. Now, if they want to compete for this conference title, they got to win these next 3 games, and they got to win them big. This is going to be the first one. 14-9 against the spread, 6-2 away from home. Guess where they're playing at? Away from home. Beat Missouri, Kansas City 78-50 on the 19th, only 11-point favorite. Now all of a sudden, only a 7-point favorite away. 4-point swing going to Missouri, Kansas City. Should be about an 8-point swing. I'm telling you right now, Grand Canyon, top defense in the conference. Mark this one down. Missouri, Kansas City, terrible at
I
defending.
got a hot new sports tip coming in.
Terrible about defending against a 2-point shot. Guess what Grand Canyon does? Score inside. Grand Canyon -7. Take it. Last one. Throw down 3. Here we go. Top 2 teams in this conference. Here we go. Nebraska, Omaha, Mavericks. Heard of them? Of course you haven't. Now you're going to. Who are they
I've
playing?
heard of Nebraska.
Who are they playing? South Dakota State University Jackrabbits. Have you heard of them? Of course you have. They're in the NCAA tournament every single year from this conference. Every year. Well, guess what? You're getting a lot of value betting against them because everyone knows that name. Nobody knows Nebraska, Omaha. Look at this. Nebraska, Omaha lost against them. Right now, coming back, time for some revenge. At home, getting 3.5 points. They covered at San Diego State. The last time they played, they didn't win, or South Dakota State didn't win, but they covered. So now they're back at home. South Dakota State, 5-5 away from home. Not very good. South Dakota State, like I said, overvalued for the name. Everyone recognizes it. Nobody recognizes Nebraska of Omaha. 3.5 points probably should be a little bit better. Nebraska of Omaha, maybe even closer to 1 or 2 in this game, but you're getting 3.5. Take it. 3 players shoot over 40% on Nebraska of Omaha. 3 over 40%. You know how many other teams have that? Probably none. 42% as a team from 3-point range. Awesome. South Dakota State has a little guy called Mike Daum. If you watch college basketball, you know who Mike Daum is. Up for a Naismith Player of the Year. He is legit. He is a great player. 25 points per game, 11 rebounds. Guess who you haven't heard of? Matt Pyle. That's right. I said it. Matt Pyle. Inside man, Nebraska of Omaha. All he's going to do.
I know that was loud because I could hear it from the headphones down there.
One goal for Matt Pyle. Shut down Dom, and he's going to do it. You got Zach Jackson, the outside 18 per game. Got inside, got outside.
What does shutting down Dom mean?
That means it's going to be man to man the whole time.
Well, how's he going to
score?
score? How many is he going to score?
Dom's going to.
What's he going to hold him under?
He averages 25 points a game. He's probably going to get. He'll hold him under 20 points.
$5.
Dom has under 20 points in this game tomorrow.
All right.
Absolutely done. $5. You guys heard it here. But
we bet.
Don't worry about that bet. Worry about this bet. Nebraska of Omaha.
You better bet your you bet your life.
Let's recap real quick. 3 games, throw down 3 small conferences. Take them, win them. Valentine's Day edition. ETSU -15.5. Take it. Grand Canyon -7. Take it. Nebraska of Omaha +3.5. Take it.
What the fuck is that?
That's what I'm talking about.
That was it.
What the fuck is that?
No, that was your. No, you're supposed to do something like.
Headshot.
Well, it's supposed to be a gun, but I guess I shouldn't be doing that.
That's it.
It's kind of
Boom.
appropriate.
So, there's a throw down 3.
Definitely not
one
tasteful.
one more quick segment.
Let's do it.
Let's do a little.
So this is part of.
Dad talk.
This is the dad talk.
Angry
Part of
Dad
the Angry
Sports.
Dad Sports. Because we want dads to watch this. We
Tone
want
it down.
kind of Vince would take it down. We would lower the lights if we had any kind of budget, but I guess we could flip a switch and turn them
Let
down.
it go, let it go. Can't hold it back
He's
anymore.
right. So
That feels good.
So when
That
it comes
feels
to
right.
dad talk, I'm gonna lead this one. So my son is 14, and I actually now have a teenager, and I'm having a little bit of trouble navigating those waters between, what do you still treat him like a kid with, and what do you do that, and so it's actually pissing me off. I'm getting kind of angry. Like we used to play this game together, and I'll be like, "Hey, we can do this and this and blah blah blah," and it's like, Dad, I would rather do research on World War II, and then and I'm realizing like, am I the idiot? I'm like, how did he become so much smarter than me so fast? I mean,
really
I'm not a fan. Yeah, not a bad answer. Not a bad. Wait. That was pretty good, but so this is making me angry, and so anyway, there we go.
I don't have an angry dad thing. I went to, apparently this is the thing, and I didn't have sisters growing up, so I don't know if this was a thing when I was a kid or not. But father-daughter dances, I guess this is a thing now that is regular, and a lot of people go to them. You see it on Facebook, you hear about them on Twitter, Instagram. I mean, it's what all the kids are doing.
It's the rage.
I'm not a dancer, and I really don't like crowds.
Adobe Gillis, circa 2000 and 2000, would disagree.
Not ideal. The whole situation not
Kickworm.
But I struggle on a daily basis at ways to make myself feel better about a dad, because I struggle from time to time. I try, but I think that I struggle from time to time. So I take my daughters to the stand. Second year I've done it. We went this past weekend. It's at a place with I don't really know the other dads that are there, and I don't really know the other girls
Daughters.
that are there, and it was so crowded, and I was in a suit which I don't like. Very uncomfortable. I'm not a thin.
An ill-fitting suit.
Man.
Was it an ill-fitting
suit? A long
suit?
time ago. It was
a suit that was from days of yore.
And the shirt, the button was so tight. So I got there, knew a couple people, talked a little bit. So I was like, okay, hey, it's okay. I'm being a good dad. I'm taking my daughters to this dance. It's fine.
Yes.
I'm fine. Then they want you to actually dance. It turns out I thought it would just be I just take them and they go and do their thing, and I hang out in the background. But then
What do you think? There was a bar for the dads or
there
something?
wasn't a no.
They should do that usually, but
I definitely would dance. So then all of a sudden, I feel like a shitty father. So I'm like, wait a second. I'm like, this isn't fair. I did this to feel good about it, but now I'm not doing what they want me to do. So I feel shitty about it.
Then you are being a good father, because usually if you're not miserable and confused,
I did something that was uncomfortable to me.
trying,
I did walk
then you're
out.
not usually
I did
generally a
walk
good
out,
dad.
Swung my arms a little bit, and they were smiling and we were hugging. And in the end, it was. I actually ended up having a great time.
And I'm sure it was magical.
I had a great time, and it was a lot of fun. And but just remember, just because something is going to make you feel like a great dad doesn't mean that it's necessarily going to make you feel like a great dad.
Yeah,
The point is don't go into anything with any expectations. Try to get things out of it. Enjoy your children; they're amazing. But
This is way more philosophical than I thought he would be. This
Anyways,
is great.
that's
this is refreshing.
That's it. That's what I had.
That's all we've got.
That's our list. See, we had this time. We had an actual sheets.
We'll be cut before this, or I'll jump back to this after something. And we'll see you guys next time on Angry Dad Sports.
Remember, subscribe, like, Twitter if you want to follow me on the tweet.